Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can tell right off the bat, this video is going to be a little bit different because I'm doing a voiceover, which is my first time doing it. The reason why I wanted to do this voiceover was because I wanted to talk about a bit about supernatural. So I don't have a script or anything like that, so I hope I don't struggle to, be able to talk about these things whenever it's on my mind about the show. Hopefully I don't forget some things I want to talk about. I don't know. Also, I want to give a disclaimer. I most likely, will say some spoilers. And so, if you have not watched Supernatural, but you're planning on eventually watching it, then I suggest to either mute this video and just watch the time lapse of this drawing, or just click out of this video and you can watch another video of mine. This also is a long video, so I have some shorter videos if you guys want to watch. So I started to watch Supernatural last year in June, but actually, before even watching the show, I was avoiding it for years to watch it, and it's kind of a funny story. Well, I don't know, but this show came out, in 2005, and I was very young. I was 2 years old, and so I was obviously too young for me to watch Supernatural when it was airing. The reason why I was hesitant to watch was because when I was younger, it was years back, but I have this memory engraved in my mind, and whenever I thought of Supernatural, whenever I see the poster or whatever on Netflix popping up, this scene would always pop up in my mind, this memory, and it was when I was younger, and I went to my brother's room, and at that time he was watching Supernatural, and again I was pretty young. I don't know how old I was, but I was young, and so I decided to watch a little bit of a scene with him because why not? I was curious, I guess. I don't know. And so yeah, I went inside, stayed there for a bit, and what I saw was gross, disgusting, and it just, ever since then, it had always been in the back of my mind whenever I thought of Supernatural. And so what I saw was, it was very early on in the series. It was I think even the first season, I think. And so there was this one scene where Dean and Joe were in a hotel room because they were investigating, and so they were in a hotel room and they were investigating, and Dean had approached a vent, and he of course decided to investigate the vent, and so he opened it and he stuck his arm inside, and what he took out of the vent was a piece of flesh with hair strands attached to it. And I just remember thinking it was just so gross, so disgusting. I don't even remember what happened after. I don't know if I quickly left my brother's room, or I don't know, but I just don't remember anything else that happened after. That was just all I remember from that scene. It was just really gross. And so ever since then, every time I thought about Supernatural, or I heard people talking about it or whatever, that scene would play in my mind, and it would just made me not want to watch it because I always thought of it as a very scary, very gross, gory show, and that's not my kind of thing. Even to this day, I don't like horror movies. I don't like gore at all, and so I thought that show, that's what it was. I thought that's all it was, just gore and horror. So yeah, I went years without watching it, and so yeah, it made me not want to watch it. And so yeah, years later, probably the beginning of last year, my cousin watched it, and ever since the beginning of him watching the show, he was telling me how he really liked it and that he recommended to me a bunch of times. But I was always like, no, it's scary, it's it's not, I don't think it would be my kind of show, Because also another reason why, it's not as big of a reason, but another reason why I avoided the show was because his is a long show. It has a lot of seasons, and I don't think I've ever watched a show that had a lot of seasons. I don't think I've ever watched a show that long, like Supernatural. I don't know. But yeah, it was just the thought of Supernatural having 15 seasons kind of overwhelmed me, and just felt like I wasn't ever gonna finish it. I feel like I would procrastinate, and that's what happened in the beginning, honestly. So I finally decided to give it a try in June of last year. I think I just watched an episode or two that month, and then I just stopped. And not because I didn't like it, I actually did like it. Also, one of the reasons why I finally gave in, it was because my cousin kept recommending it to me, but also Jared Padalecki was in it. And before watching Supernatural, I watched Gilmore Girls, and I really liked Gilmore Girls, and I liked him. Well, I liked him in the beginning of Gilmore Girls, and I do not want to talk about how his character went in that show, but in the beginning, I did like him, and I liked him as an actor. So yeah, I found out that Jared Padalecki was in Supernatural, and so that was just another reason. It was a small reason, but a reason nonetheless. I only watched like first 2 episodes, probably, I don't know, and I watched it and I liked it, but I don't know. I tend to procrastinate on some shows that I watch. Again, especially since I knew it was a long show, for me at least. So yeah, I just procrastinated and I didn't continue watching it until in November, and that's when I really watched it. Like I watched it almost every day, and I finished it in January of this year. And yeah, I just by the end I really enjoyed. Like I really liked the show overall. I was actually surprised when I checked that it ended in 2020. Like what? I really thought like it had ended years before. Like it ended during the pandemic. Like the finale was like during the pandemic, which I find kind of crazy actually, because it first aired in 2005. It went on for 15 years. I really did not think it bad, and I just find it so crazy. So now my thoughts about the show. So first of all, I just want to say, well, while watching Supernatural, my favorite character, well, the first 4 seasons was Sam. I tend to like characters who are like a little more empathetic, like has more empathy and more like sensitive. I'm not saying that Dean is not like that, but like, you know, Sam is more like that, whilst Dean is more like rough, more tough. And I like Dean. I really do. I like his protectiveness. I like how he can be protective people that he loves, especially Sam, of course. And I like his humor. But yeah, I don't know. I like Sam more. And I don't know if it's because of the actor as well, but I still tend to like characters that are like Sam. Yeah, so, but then you know who came along in season 4? Castiel. I really like Castiel. I don't remember if I immediately really liked him, like when he was first introduced, or like I grew to really like him. But yeah, I just really liked him, especially like in the earlier seasons. But he remained my favorite character till the end. But now it's been a few months since I, of course, finished Supernatural, and I don't know, like I feel like I'm kind of on the fence between Sam and Castiel again, of who my favorite character is. But like they're all very close favorites. Like I mean, like I like all 3 of them almost the same. Almost. I feel like Sam will have like a special place in my heart. I feel like at the moment my favorite character might be Sam, even though like I haven't rewatched the show. And I don't know if I plan. I probably will eventually rewatch it, but I don't know if I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna take my time with it if I ever rewatch it. I've seen a lot of people say that like in the later seasons, like Supernatural just turned out bad. Like it wasn't like the better the earlier seasons were much better than the later seasons. And I do agree that the first couple of seasons was really good. I especially I liked how it looked in the earlier seasons. It was dark and like kind of like gritty, like the visuals. I really like that because I don't know if it's weird to say, but it just gave me like cozy feelings for some reason, like darkness and like the quality of it. I don't know, it just gave me like cozy feeling. Also like the monster of the week before like the demons and like angels, God and all that came in. When it was just like monster of the week and they were just hunting things and looking for their dad. I just really liked it. It felt cozy and I don't know, it just felt cozy, okay? It felt cozy. But that's not to say that I didn't like later seasons. I do like the later seasons. Not as much, but I do like it. I found them quite entertaining. I think my least favorite season was it season 7 when the Leviathans were introduced? Honestly, I don't remember like which plot line happened in which season, if I'm being honest. Like, I get confused because I don't know if it's because there was just so many seasons, but okay, I'm gonna say my least favorite like monsters or whatever, or enemies, were the Leviathans. I just didn't like, not as much as other enemies and other monsters. Also, the way like they opened their mouths, it just kind of creeped me out. I don't know, like I said, I'm not really a big fan of like horror stuff. Even though earlier seasons were more like dark and horror-like, even though it wasn't like horror, but like, you know what I mean? So, because I liked the show, of course, I wanted to make a fan art, because at the time that I made this fan art, which by the way was now like, I made this in February, so it was a few months ago now at this point, and at that point, I was still like in my Supernatural phase. I was just so into it. I would watch bloopers and video clips, interviews of the actors, edits. I still watch edits on TikTok, but like I was very much into it still a few months ago. And so whenever I finish a show that I really enjoy and I still can't get over it, I tend to make fan art. And so Supernatural was definitely something that I wanted to make a fan art of. And I actually made 3 fan arts before this one, but I sketched it in my sketchbook. So I made 3 fan arts for each of these 3 characters individually. But again, I did them traditionally on my sketchbook. But I still posted them on social media. But since I didn't do like a draw with me or sketched my process, like didn't post them on YouTube. Like there's no video. So I just posted the pictures themselves or the drawings themselves on my social media on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok too actually. But as you know, a post. First I drew one of Sam, and then Dean, and then Cass. So this is my 4th fan art of them, but this is my first fan art of them 3 together, and I'm gonna have to do it digitally. Also, yeah, this is my first digital art of them, and yeah, I really enjoyed the process of making this fan art. I was a little bit intimidated because I'm not used to drawing more than one person in a drawing, and also I had a hard time choosing what season to draw them in, so I just searched up references on Pinterest, and I just found photos of what I liked, I guess. Like, I wasn't specifically looking for a specific season of them. I just wanted to draw them in whatever season, like whatever I thought, whatever picture I found that I liked the most. So I drew Sam with longer hair, so it was like in the middle of the show. I don't know what season exactly. And then Dean, I also don't remember. I think I've picked, for all 3 of them, I picked out several pictures for all 3 of them, like several reference photos. So again, there weren't any like specific season where they're in, if that makes sense. I don't know. I'm really bad at explaining. I probably should have written the script or something, but you know what? That's okay. That's okay. So for the 3 of them, I wanted to draw them like chest up. I didn't want to draw the full body for the 3 of them, because I am not that experienced with full bodies and multiple people at the same drawing at the same time. So I feel like this was just more comfortable for me. So what I had in mind was, I've always wanted for Dean to be in the middle and then Sam and Cass be on the sides. I don't know why. It's not like one character is like the main character, like more of a main character than other characters. Well, between Sam and Dean, because Cass came in season 4 and he was a recurring character, but he didn't appear in every single episode. So between Sam and Dean, I don't think one of them is more of a main character than the other one. I think they're both equally main characters. So putting Dean in the middle doesn't mean that I see him, you know, as like the main character, like more of a main character than Sam. It just, I don't know. I feel like it felt kind of right to put him in the middle. I don't know if it's because he's like the older brother. I don't know. But yeah. And then Sam and Cass next to him on each side. So for their outfits, you know, they tend to, especially Sam, I feel like, he tends to wear flannel a lot. Well, I mean, Dean too, but I wanted to draw Dean. I had a specific outfit in mind for Dean, actually. I wanted to draw him in like a green jacket. I don't know why. I feel like green looks good on him. And then for Cass, I mean, of course, I had to draw him in his iconic trench coat and suit. So that was, you know, not hard at all to figure out what outfit to draw him in, because that's literally his outfit for the entirety of the show. And it looked really good on him. I really liked the iconic trench coat and suit. And then for Sam, I did struggle a bit to figure out what kind of outfit I wanted to draw him in. I knew I wanted to draw him in flannel, but I just didn't know like the color, the style, if I wanted to draw a jacket on top of a flannel. But then I went ahead and drew him in a blue flannel, and I think it was a good idea. I really liked the outfit. I really liked the color that I chose for the flannel. I don't know if it's like accurate of how a flannel is supposed to look like, because I'm not experienced with drawing flannels. But for me personally, I like how it looks. And I really like the color because it kind of matches with his eyes. That's another thing I struggled with actually, was the color of his eyes. Because in some pictures it looked like dark, and in other pictures it looked like, for example, I thought in the beginning of the series, the first couple of the seasons, I thought he had like brown eyes for some reason. And I think it had to do with, you know, the quality and also like how dark it was. But I really thought his eyes were brown. But then I figured out later on that his eyes are like blue. But then there are pictures that I've seen online that they look like, some looked gray, some looked greenish, bluish, some looked hazel. So I really struggled with his eye color, but I just stuck to blue. And then I colored his flannel in the same color as his eyes. Yeah, I liked it. I liked how it looked. I liked how they match. And for Dean, Like I said, I had always planned to draw him in a green jacket, but I didn't realize that it was gonna match with his eyes. And so I unintentionally matched the colors of his eyes with the jacket as well. And it's kind of the same thing with Kaz actually. So his eyes are blue, right? And his outfit is like, well, the trench coat is more like grayish, but he has a blue tie. It's not the same shade of blue like his eyes, but like the coloring, they really complement each other so well. Like they really like match. I kind of unintentionally did it, especially Sam's. Everything's like their outfits and stuff like are like cool tone. I really liked it. I like how well it goes with all of them. So drawing them specifically, like their faces, I didn't really struggle with. I think I struggled with these the most though, because I struggle with drawing like the faces facing forward because of like the symmetry of the face. It almost always looks not weird, but you know, not symmetrical. And I know faces are not supposed to look symmetrical. We all have, or most people have, asymmetrical faces. So you know, it's like not like really a problem, but it was still kind of a struggle for me. Even though, again, it's not supposed to look symmetrical, especially since I flipped canvases a lot. Like it just, every time I flipped a canvas, it just looked weird, and I tried to fix it, and when I flipped it back, it looked weird again. And so I don't know, I just struggled with it. But in the end, I did like how it turned out. But with the rest of them, I didn't really struggle. I think I struggled with Cass's hair for some reason, and the shape of his head. Not him. It's like me. I don't know why I was struggling with the shape of his skull. Like I felt like his skull was too squished in. Like I needed to add more volume to his hair and to the back and to the front. I don't know, I just struggled with his skull and with his head shape and with his hair. But in the end, I think I got to where I wanted it to be. Like I was satisfied with the result. I'm trying to think what else I wanted to talk about. I guess I'll just say that I've been on Twitter, and you know, since I watched Supernatural, I've had lots of Supernatural related stuff on my timeline, and I've just seen a lot of negativity in the fandom. I've never seen such negativity like that much in the fandom before. And not just to themselves, I mean like to other people in the fandom, but also like there's a lot of haters for the actors as well, and I've just never seen anything like it before. But then again, I haven't really tried to be in fandoms. Like I've never really been the type to be in fandoms of shows or stuff that I like in general, because I don't know, I feel like I struggle to like talk to people. No, I do struggle to talk to people actually. I'm even struggling to make this video right now. I mean, I'm not struggling, but I was at the beginning of this video. But yeah, I want to be more social, and I wanted to try with the Supernatural fandom, but it's a bit toxic, I'm not gonna lie. I just hope there was a bit more positivity. Where's the positivity? It doesn't cost at all, actually, to be kind to one another, but I guess there are people who are miserable and bored or whatever that just want to create drama or attack people for no reason, other than to feel better about themselves. But yeah, I find it cool that the actors, the three of them, Jared, Jensen, and Misha, are really close friends to this day, especially Jared and Jensen, since they had worked together for 15 years. It's really cool that they are like brothers in real life as well. I don't have much more to say actually. I forgot to mention in the beginning of the video that if I run out of things to say, then I will just stop talking and let the rest of the video finish. But I'm trying to think if I have more to say, and I'm just not remembering. At the moment, I don't know if I'm just drawing a blank, like I can't think of anything, or I don't know. Like I thought I wanted to say more things, because I had been like thinking about them before making this video, but I don't know. Also, my laptop's about to die. And I don't know if I should like pause this, record more voiceovers later after charging my laptop, or if, like I don't know if I just like stop talking and just let the rest of the timeline play out. Well, I guess actually I'll talk about the finale. So, I mean, I think I already said this, but there are spoilers, obviously. So throughout the show, I actually didn't cry much, if I'm being honest, and I'm surprised, because I tend to easily cry during like sad scenes, like sad stuff in shows and movies. But I'm surprised that I didn't cry much. I definitely cried in the finale though, that's for sure. Cause like there has been a lot of deaths in Supernatural, even the main characters. But like that's the thing, since the main characters died in the earlier seasons, I knew they were gonna come back. Like maybe if I had watched it while the show was airing, then I probably would have, because I wouldn't know if they would come back or not, or if there was gonna be a new season. But since, you know, I watched the show when all the seasons came out, and I literally saw images and posters on Netflix, and I see the actors like grown. Of course I'm gonna know that the characters somehow come back to life. So when, like for example, Sam's first death happened, which was the end of season 2, I think. Of course it was sad. I felt sad. I felt sad because, of course, a death of a main character or any character that you have grown attached to is gonna be sad. But also the performances by the actors, they did so well. It just makes you feel something, but it didn't make me feel so sad to the point where I cried. I don't think I shed a single tear, but I felt sadness. Again, I don't know if it had to do with the fact that I already knew that Sam was gonna come back, because there were a whole lot more seasons coming. So, yeah. I kind of got distracted, but the finale, I don't know why they made, after the penultimate episode, I thought it was a great ending. Like, I thought that would be it, and I thought the last episode was gonna be like an epilogue or something, I don't know, like a short episode, or an epilogue, but no, it was not the case. It was so weird. Like, it really felt like the penultimate episode was like neatly wrapped up with a bow, and like, there was even like a montage at the end of that episode. But then I knew that there was one more episode after. And I'm just like, well, if it ended, why is there another episode? I watched the last episode, the actual finale, and then it was kind of weird, like the whole episode in general, because it felt like any other episode, like it was like a monster of the week kind of. It just felt like so normal. It didn't feel like a finale. But then we get to that scene where they're fighting, I think they were vampires, and then Dean gets pushed against a nail or whatever it is, and then he gets impaled by it, and that's literally how he dies. Like, what? That's literally how he dies? It would have been way more satisfying if he had sacrificed himself for the greater good. Like, I don't know, if it was like a big moment. I feel like it would have been more satisfying if he was gonna die, then he would have died, like, sacrificing himself to, like, for example, I forgot what season it was, but it was a season where they were trying to defeat Amara, and Dean had this, like, bomb of, like, souls or whatever inside of him, and he was gonna go to Amara and just, like, have the bomb inside of him explode with him in it, so that when she dies, he dies too. I feel like that would have been a better ending, like that kind of thing, where he just sacrificed himself for his loved ones and stuff, and he would be like a hero. But instead, he just died in a hunt. And I know he had the life that he wanted was for Sam to live his normal life, have a family and stuff, and for him to, like, die in a hunt. Like, he thought that that's how his life was gonna end, and it did. But it's just, I feel like the penultimate episode would have been a great ending, and the last episode was unnecessary, and the fact that Sam had to live his life, the rest of his life, alone. I mean, he did have his family, but in between Dean's death and him finding a wife or marrying Eileen, I really hope that was the end game, him and Eileen, because I really thought they were cute together, and I just really liked Eileen. But anyway, between Dean's death and Sam having a family and stuff, he was just pretty much alone. He didn't have his brother, and yeah, just that scene of Dean dying definitely got me, of course. Oh, also, that's not the only time that I cried. I don't know how I forgot, but Cass died as well. But that was more satisfying, that's the thing. That was more satisfying because, well, I already saw it coming. Because when he went to heaven to, like, rescue Jack from the Empty, he made a deal with Empty that when he was finally happy, then the Empty could take him to the Empty. And that was how, I just knew from that moment that was how he was gonna go. That was how he was gonna die. And it did. The Empty took him in that scene, and I definitely cried because the speech he made to Dean. Yeah, and then him crying, and then Dean crying, and just me crying. And it was just so sad. Yeah. And also, I was sad that he didn't get the chance to say goodbye to Sam or Jack. But it was still satisfying. It was definitely more satisfying than Dean's death. That's for sure. I just did not like Dean's ending. If he was gonna die, why that way? Why not another way? Why not a more greater way? I don't know. I think that's where I'm gonna end it. The rest will be the timeline. I actually really enjoy talking about Supernatural, like doing a voiceover in general, overall, while this time lapse is playing. I hope it wasn't too like confusing or whatever. Like I'm bad at explaining things, but hopefully I'm gonna do more of this for sure. And hopefully when I do more of this, I'll get better at it. But yeah, since it's my first time and I don't have a script, it was definitely kind of hard, especially in the beginning of the voiceover. But I feel like the more I talked, the more it got better. But I don't know, maybe you guys will think differently. Who knows? Also, I forgot to mention this too, but the things that I say are like my opinions, and if you guys have different opinions, then that's great. I mean, feel free to disagree, but keep it respectful. Do not go around attacking people, and like, do not, just be positive. It's all about positivity. If you guys have anything to say about Supernatural, then go ahead and leave it in the comments, and we'll all have a nice civil talk about the show. But yeah. Yeah, I think my next video will also be another voiceover video. I don't know, because there's another fan art that I did about another show, a K-drama specifically, and I'm gonna do a voiceover for that video, for that drawing too. So hopefully that will be the next video. Okay, well, bye guys.